Have you ever found yourself obsessing over someone else's text message or replaying a conversation you had with them 100 times in your head or letting someone else's mood affect your entire day? I know I have, and I thought that meant that I cared so much about them, but what that actually meant was that I didn't know how to emotionally detach. Emotional detachment does not mean shutting down and not giving a shit about people at all. It's not about being heartless, cold, or checked out of your relationship. Detachment means you stop attaching your worth, your happiness, and your entire mood based off of someone else's actions and emotional state. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what emotional detachment is, why so many women struggle with it, how to use it in your daily life, and how it actually gets you the life that you want. At its core, detachment is about separating your identity and your worth from external outcomes. It means to stop outsourcing your self esteem to other people. In psychology, this ties back to concepts like secure attachment and self differentiation, which is basically the ability to be connected to others without losing yourself in them. And this applies to all relationships in your life, not just the romantic ones. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, as women, we are taught to tie our worth to things outside of ourselves. How physically attractive we are, how much likes and attention we get on social media, whether or not someone chooses us to be in a relationship or to get married. That conditioning primes us to attach our sense of self to external validation. Detachment is how we undo that conditioning. It's not about pulling away from people or being emotionally unavailable. It's about being so deeply grounded in your own worth that external situations have no power over you. Detachment allows you to engage in relationships, work, and daily life without handing over your peace of mind. Most people hear the word detachment and immediately think of indifference, but that's not detachment, that's avoidance. We are not avoiding our emotions or closeness in relationships. We're creating the ability to stay connected to our values and our self worth no matter what's happening around us. When you're not detached, you're in a constant state of emotional fusion with other people. When they're happy, you're happy. When they withdraw from you, you have a mental breakdown. And that's exhausting. It makes you anxious, clingy, and you abandon yourself. The attachment helps create space between what happens and what it means about you. Some real life examples to put it into perspective that I think we all can relate to is when you're texting someone new that you have a crush on and you're gauging their interest in you based off of how quickly they're responding to your messages. I do actually think that the frequency and the consistency that someone communicates with you in the beginning is very important to look at, but the point is that you can't attach that to your self-worth. If you're texting them nonstop and then they suddenly go silent one day with no explanation, don't panic and be like, oh my God, what did I say that turned them off? Why isn't he texting me? Oh, maybe I should post a hot picture on my story so he texts me. You're already emotionally attached by panicking, basing your worth on, and performing for this person's attention and approval. Instead, my anxiously attached girlies, notice the inconsistency, and if it's been a pattern, ask yourself, do you really want to entertain someone who can't hold healthy, steady communication? This applies to other areas in your life too. If you're applying for jobs and constantly getting rejected, it is not a reflection of your skills and abilities. If you're posting on social media and your content isn't viral, it doesn't mean it's not valuable or entertaining. People who are emotionally detached can feel rejection, disappointment, and frustration without being consumed by it. They have the ability to remain centered, so instead of reacting impulsively from insecurity, they respond intentionally from self respect. So, why do women struggle so much with emotional detachment? As women, we're conditioned from a young age to be people pleasers, to keep everyone comfortable, to smooth things over, to prove our worth based on how much we give. So, of course, we learn how to attach our value to how people respond to us. As little girls, we are praised for being good, quiet, helpful, while boys don't receive that same treatment. They're praised for being bold and independent. Being praised for those things early on taught us that our love and acceptance comes from constant self sacrifice and giving to other people and not just existing as who we are as people. Some of us have a fear of abandonment that we developed in our relationships as a child, and when we feel someone pulling away, it causes us to cling harder. We think chasing will keep them close, but really it's just draining, and we overextend ourselves trying to not get left behind by somebody who was never meant to stay. Some of us confuse control with safety. If we double text, if we over explain, if we need constant reassurance over their feelings, we feel that we can manipulate the outcome to our favor. But all that's really doing is reinforcing the idea that we aren't enough as we are. It also trains other people to expect you to overfunction while ignoring your own needs. And then add social media to the mix, especially if you were exposed to social media at an impressionable age. Constant comparison, constant exposure to highlight reels that really aren't real. It trained us to attach our self-worth to likes, to follows, to attention. But this conditioning for external validation runs a lot deeper than our childhood and social media. It is ingrained in the way society has taught women to exist for generations. The patriarchy has placed a woman's value in how desirable she is, how accommodating she can be to men especially, and how well she takes care of other people. Luckily, we're finally starting to see that change in our lifetime, but we're still constantly exposed to that through these stupid red pill podcasts, social media, or even our own mothers who were raised in the patriarchy and still brainwashed to think that way. When you really unpack how deeply you've been programmed to believe that your worth is outside of you, you'll realize it's no wonder why women struggle so much with their self-worth and confidence. Emotionally detaching is a beautiful way to break that cycle and to start making decisions from a place of self-worth. So how do we practice emotional detachment in real life? One of the best ways is to create a life and an identity that is not dependent on anyone else's presence or approval. What do you enjoy? What gives you purpose? What goals light you up? Who do you want to be and what do you want to become in your life? The more you're able to answer those questions and then act on them, is the less that your happiness is going to rest in someone else's hands. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or never desiring connection. It just means you're not outsourcing your entire sense of identity. If your partner left, if you lost your job, if your friends changed, you would still have a solid core identity that is all yours. Another way is to reframe rejection and to stop seeing it as a personal failure or some kind of proof that we're not good enough. Start seeing rejection as protection or redirection. If it wasn't meant for you, it wasn't meant for you. And holding on to that is only holding you back from what's actually meant to come in your life. This doesn't mean that rejection is going to feel good. Breakups are painful, obviously. Getting your application denied from a job you really wanted is not a great feeling, but you just don't attach your worth to those things. You know that a better relationship is coming that's more aligned with who you really are, and you know better job opportunities are coming, and that the one you applied for wasn't this perfect end all be all. Detach from outcomes. Detachment does not mean that you stop caring about results. It means you stop tying your identity to them. You still show up, you still give your best effort, but you release the belief that your worth is tied to whether it works out or not. This one can be difficult because I know a lot of us were raised to measure our value based off of our achievements and our success. But if you allow your self-worth to rise and fall with every outcome, you're never going to feel stable. Instead of obsessing over results, measure your success by how consistently you're showing up. Did you apply for the job? Did you post the content? Did you go on the date? That's success. The outcome is secondary. That frees you from the anxiety of needing everything to go your way, and it also makes you more resilient. When you detach from the outcome, you start to enjoy the process more. You stop needing instant gratification and proof that you're on the right track. Detachment allows you to keep moving forward without your identity clinging to every outcome. Surrender the need for control. Control is an illusion and it's an exhausting one. The truth is, no matter how much effort you put into a situation or how much you try to manage the outcome, people are going to act according to who they are. Surrender the illusion that you can control people's choices, and you're going to free yourself from constant hypervigilance. You can sit back and allow someone's words and actions, or lack thereof, to tell you everything that you need to know. Instead of obsessing over when something will happen, like when you're going to get called for that interview or when your business is finally going to take off, you let go of the need to know every detail and you trust in your own preparation and timing. You stop micromanaging everyone else and redirect that energy into what you can control, which is your own mindset, thoughts, and actions. Bottom line, emotional detachment is not about being cold or careless. It's about valuing yourself enough to not hand over your peace, your worth, or your identity. When you practice detachment, relationships feel healthier, careers feel less pressured, and you naturally feel more confident. And the life you want, the people, the opportunities, and the respect will come to you instead of you constantly chasing them down. Detachment gets you what you want because it shifts your energy from proving your worth to embodying your worth. And that's what attracts all of the successful love, careers, and relationships into your life. If this video resonated with you, make sure you subscribe because I share weekly content on how to help women feel more confident, build more feminine energy, and to stop settling for less than they deserve. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.